Sagittarius. I have Sagittarius in 3 top spots on my chart. We're all complicated though. I also have some Capricorn, I got a little Gemini, Libra. So I suggest you go below and follow the link if you haven't already to do your own personal chart. Happy birthday, by the way. My birthday's coming up soon. And from here on, I consider you all Christmas sages, meaning you get screwed out of gifts, cards, well wishes, everything. When I was a kid, it used to bug me a little. Mine's pretty close to Christmas. So I'd get cards with happy birthday, Merry Christmas, gifts. This is for both your birthday and Christmas. You know what happens. So I have so many things to talk to you about today. I like using chance and, what would you call it? I'm thinking intuition, but I like serendipity. I like those things that happen that are unplanned. I don't know why I can't think of the main word I want to use. Anyway, so today what I did was I went to the bookshelf. I have a bunch of them. Didn't look, just stuck my hand in, pulled out a book, had no idea what it would be. Opened a page, didn't know what that would be. I came up with something pretty cool. Kind of goes with my mission of bringing an artist's perspective to my readings. I like to read to you, poetry, literature. This time it was an art book, Vermeer. And I just opened the page, and it's interesting. What came up, we'll see if it has anything to do with what we end up finding elsewhere in the reading today. If I can find the page. Yeah, I marked it. I'll show you a couple of photos, reproductions out of the book. It shows women sitting with men. I think they all have wine. The chapter heading is something about temptation. The temptations of love. I'll try to show you a couple things. Very tight here. I'll do what I can. Here's a close-up. There's a man and a woman. She's looking at us, which is really unusual in portraiture and art from that period. I'll show you another one. So these men are trying to loosen these women up to seduce them. It also talks about love potions. See if I can find some of this that I can read to you. There's another setting. Now here's one of those things I was talking about that's really interesting. See that window? See how close I can get it. That image there is our sign, our major arcana from Sagittarius, Temperance. That's what the stained glass is. So these type of connections are really what I love. I call, synchronicities. That's what I was trying to think of before, synchronicities. Things you could never ever plan, and they happen, something like that. I love that. I don't think it's a coincidence. And we'll see as we go further into the reading. The pieces you see in front of you, by the way, my 3D pieces I make out of. What we have here today in the back is the 8 of Wands. The Knight of Wands are the gloves, the boxing gloves. And the other piece represents the Knight of Wands. You never know whether he's coming or going in your life, out of your life. Here we can't tell. Did he just come home? Is he about to leave? In case you don't know, in tarot, the 8, 9, 10 are all Sag pieces. And that's true in all the different elements. There's a sign in each one of them where 8, 9, 10 is a certain sign. We're the mutable sign, always ready to change, explore, open-minded, creative. You have to be open-minded to be creative, I'm sorry. All right, let's see if I can read something here for you. The contrast between light and shadow could even contain unconscious or perhaps intentional psychological symbolism. It is likely that the woman who is lit up by the sun embodies the principle of purity and that she is, so to speak, the victim of the man's dark and sinister machinations. Let's see if I can find something else. The man is offering wine to the woman as an aphrodisiac to lower her resistance. The scene has evidently been preceded by a musical divertimento to get them into the right mood. This is suggested by the lute which has been placed on the chair. A symbolic motif which has its origins in an illustration by Gabriel Roland concerns the personification of temperance, one of the cardinal virtues, together with the attributes, the level, symbolizing good deeds, and the bridle, symbolizing emotional control. The window is directly in the woman's line of vision and is her opposite, its purpose being to serve as a warning. There's something about, I'm trying to find it, about magic love potion here. The drink need not necessarily have been wine. It could also be a love potion, such as frequently mentioned in 17th century medical writings. John Baptista von Helmont said that it has caused the natural essence of life to surge. The effect could be one of two things, either excessive foolish love or a paralyzing melancholy. What is taking place here is the initiation of a secret love affair. A peeled lemon lies on a silver dish next to a jug which has been placed on a white cloth in an arrangement which is almost like a still life. The purpose of the lemon was to reduce the effect of the love potion. Cool, right? All right. There's a lot of things I'd like to talk about. Maybe we'll hit a couple other points later. It's time to find out what pieces we're going to get for this reading. Write them down. Let's roll. What can we get for Sagittarius in their birthday month? Oh yeah. New moon, solar eclipse. 42 upright. Yeah, I have to talk about the moon a little bit. I mean, today's an amazing day. Your feelings are kind of intense, that's why. 33 upright. It's upright because this is an even number. The square dice, if it's even, it's upright. If it's odd, it's in reverse. 33. I'm going to pick it up here. It's another upright. It's a lot of uprights. That's great. 48 upright. Not that all uprights are great or all reverses are terrible. There's a reversal, 43 reverse. I have no idea what these are as far as pieces go, how they correlate, because they're in boxes in the other room and they move around all the time. Another reverse, 37 reverse. We have a lot of threes here. 43, 37, 33, and a lot of fours. 42, 48, 43. Okay, so I'm going to go get our pieces and be right back. Okay, Sagittarius, back with your pieces. And I have another little message for you here I found laying on the table. I saw it last night. I opened a fortune cookie. This whole thing of tarot, to me, it's all about messages. We have messages all day long, every day, even when we're sleeping. But a lot of times they get past us. We don't notice them. We're too busy, distracted, whatever. And we should be looking for them. And, you know, as a part of a practice in our life and growing, we need to cultivate these things and try harder. Keep little notes or something, maybe on your phone. That's what I do. But one form of messages are fortune cookies. May seem silly to some, but I always liked them. Just like when I was a kid, everybody read their zodiac every single day because it was on the front page of the newspaper. Anyway, I'll show you this one. Let's see if it'll get in focus though. A little hard to see, huh? I'll read it to you. A true friend walks in when the rest of the world walks out. I mention this because I look at these pieces and a couple threads I see right away. Maybe the first thing I should just give you are a few keywords. We'll stick with the idea of temptation because it definitely comes through here. Friends, drinking, walking away, messages, choices, That's enough for now. Yeah, that's good. So this little fortune cookies is about friends. And I'll go through all these, but what I'm going to do to keep it a little shorter today, I'm just going to read through everything one time, and that's going to be the reading itself. There won't be any reason to go back again, because I want to get to the planetary stuff. We'll pull a Moonology card. It's just a lot going on today. I have a lot of energy myself, so let's get started. What we see in front of us are 5 pieces that relate directly to the tarot. The first piece here, the woman lying down, that's the Empress. The center piece, this piece with the mouth open and the horn. No, that's wrong. That's the 5 of Swords. Next to that is the 8 of Cups. In the back here is Judgment. And in the very far corner, right back corner, is the 3 of Swords. So we have 2 major arcana, the Empress and Judgment. Judgment's in reverse. These little R's are for reversals. We have 1 cup, and that's the 5 of Swords. Yeah, so we have 2 swords, 2 pieces with swords. There's no earth here, except you could think of the Empress as Mother Earth. She's certainly very grounded. What does this mean? Well, 2 major arcana means pretty strong reading. A lot of swords means a lot of mental activity. In this case, pretty stressful, both pieces. It also has to do with communication, air sign pieces. I think it's interesting, if we didn't even know what the pieces were, that we have one that has a moon and a sun, which hints at eclipse, which we have a solar eclipse today during our season. You can just look right now. I didn't explain what they all mean. You know their names, but you could really come up with your own meaning. Pause the video for a while if you want. I'm going to go on with the reading. As far as temptation, like in the Vermeer book, the Empress is a very tempting man or woman. They have everything going. I mean, earthly and spiritually. Like I said, she's the mother of Earth. She can be a real mother. Children and communication are strong. She's also Venus, which is all about beauty, of course, and love. So tempting? Oh yeah, definitely. She also has to do with pregnancy. So all the readers always warn, if you're thinking getting pregnant, it's a good sign. If you don't want to get pregnant, take precautions. I don't feel that here based on the other pieces. So if there's a source of temptation here, it's probably her, him. As we go through the pieces, well, we'll go to the 5 of Swords. Yeah, the 5 of Swords is the piece with the mouth open and the horn. 5 of Swords is someone taking swords, basically stealing them on a battlefield. It can be a little bit of a war going on between a person, 2 people, a group. It is 5. Maybe that relates to a group of friends, because friends comes in here in a few places. I'm not going to go over why in every single piece, but friends and platonic relationships came up a few times here. So with that piece, though, it's almost like there's a pause in the battle. Could be reconciliation. There's a pause, and if there was a war, the war is either lost or somebody lost a lot. That's the way fighting is. When I was a kid, they always said, "Gonna start a fight, be ready to get a bloody nose." So it could be about competition, and it could be about being ready to fight or putting off the fight. Time to listen, talk. So we go to the 8 of Cups, the cloud with the moon and the sun. Normally you see that piece on a card, it's somebody walking away. There's cups all around them. The 8 of Cups is about exploring options. When there's options, that's temptation, right? You're tempted to take this option or that option, or maybe you're trying out a few of these options. What generally happens is, after a while, that just becomes exhausting, unfulfilling. So then we're down to, with these 8 of Cups, choices. What do we really want? Even if we're stepping away, doesn't mean it's necessarily forever. Some people say that person walking away walks back around like in a circle, kind of like how the wheel is. So again, that piece could be about relationship, choices. Then we go to the back to judgment. Very powerful energy here. Judgment means what it means, judging. Basically, don't judge too harshly. You know, you don't want to be judged harshly, so you shouldn't be judging others harshly. Could be also about being homesick. Home has come up a few times in here too. Home to me relates to friendship or love, you know, when somebody's special to you, they feel like home. And when you're separated, it's like being homesick. Could also be, judgment could also be about, because it's in reverse, could be about gossip and blame. You could be being blamed for something, or maybe blaming others for things that really they don't deserve blame for. Again, it's about choices, but doubts over choices, not being clear. And sometimes it has to do with lessons not learned. We're going to judge fairly. We have all this experience in our life. We need to use it to help us make better judgments. The last piece, the Three of Swords in the back, that's definitely about mental anguish. Traditional tarot, it's 3 swords and a heart. I chose to use a brain with different objects, a sword, scissors, and a match. And it's about air signs, you know, being in the head too much. But this one's definitely about suffering. It's in reverse, so that could have to do with somebody being absent, or it could come from bad news. There's so many reasons we could be suffering, stuck in our heads, going over something over and over. This piece is pretty bleak. I mean, it has to do with a lot of tears being shed, suffering, fighting. Could even be divorce. If it's not divorce, it could be some kind of mischief with friends. On the positive side, it could be about honesty. But even there, it could be good or bad. So I'll go back to the whole thing. Temptation, there's a choice. So what do we do about that? Is the choice about walking away? Is it about something we heard that forces us to have a choice? Is it about choice to be honest or dishonest? Whatever it is, choices are best when used with balance. First thing to do is to use your intuition. That's your gut feeling. First thing off the top of your head, your primal urge to the feeling inside of you. It's different than emotions. It's different than mental. It's even different than spiritual. It's an extra sense that we have. We need to cultivate that too. You know, we all need to do the work. That kind of runs through here too. Need to be honest with ourselves. That came up a few times, honesty. Besides our intuition, the other thing we can use, because some of these pieces have to do with experience. Experience is very important too, obviously. If we combine our intuition with our experiences, we might come up with a better solution to whatever this is. Okay, I wanted to talk about the moon because it's a big deal today. So let's first pull a Moonology card, because that might sum up this whole thing, pull it all together. And it might even be about the moon without me going and talking about it twice. So I already shuffled. I'm going to look for a popper now. One card. These are always upright. Moonology. Here's what the book looks like. So first we pull a card, then we read out of the book. I love it. It's beautiful. One Moonology card, please, for Sagittarius. Here we go. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. All right, I'll move the camera down. These are all the phases here. The new moon is basically where you can't see it. All right, let me find this in the book. Think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there's also a lot of negativity and you need to let go of this. Yeah, I read this for somebody else recently. Whatever situation you're asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions involved which you need to release into the ethers. We talked about honesty. This card also comes with the promise that all is not lost. However, there are changes or adjustments required before you will get to where you want to be. A change of course is forecast now that recent events have been understood and acted upon. There may also be a crisis now, which will remind you what you want and what it's time to let go of. So pay attention. Yeah, we talked about that too. Pay attention. We got to cultivate that ability to recognize messages and signs. Attuned to the moon. I am reevaluating the situation. Additional meanings for this card. Your life may be out of balance, and this may be causing your issues. It may be a time to hatch a whole new plan. That goes with the moon phase we're in right now. Something new and exciting is around the corner. Trust may be required to move the situation forward. Trust. Yeah. Okay, I think I am going to talk about the eclipse today, briefly. Something in there was about, this thing about it may be time to hatch a whole new plan. The moon phases have a lot to do with manifesting. So manifesting is, what is it do we want? The new moon is when we write down our intentions, write them on a piece of paper, look at them all month until the full moon. At the full moon, we burn that piece of paper. So really, it's not a great time. Basically, what it says is it's time to clean the slate, but it's not a great time to start something new. At the same time, if you are involved in projects right now, it's okay to continue with those. Good time to reinvent the self. In fact, they keep talking about appearances, how we look. Could be our hair, clothes, working out, eating right, all those things. Something about appearances. It's a good time to settle disputes with old friends and family. Yeah, friends comes up here a few times too. It's a good time to make new friends. Tend to, in matters of love and communication, tend to do it behind closed doors at this time. Could even be secrecy involved. Mercury's in the first house. Might be ready to speak about things that you've been thinking about. Your intuition and intellect, which we talked about earlier, are strong right now. And that's great. I'm glad to read that here. Because we talked about choices. And using your intuition and intellect are the way to go. And here it says they're especially strong right now for you. Again, friends and neighbors could be stronger. Relationships with them could be stronger. Mars is gaining speed, and it stimulates your creative side and your leadership side. It's a great time to reflect on love and money. I didn't talk about money. We didn't have any Earth cards. We didn't have any Earth, 3D pieces. By the way, we had Venus here at 2 places. That's why I thought it was about love. Generally, this is a love reading. There's some problem, obviously, with these swords. Something happened. It could be in the past. And reconciliation came up a few times. And the Moonology card. Let me show you something. Let me get that page in the book again. I want you to be able to screenshot it. Here you go. You can refer back to this during the month. They're the parts I read. Okay, Sag, thanks for coming. You've been my biggest supporter by far. I thank you. I don't take it for granted at all. Have a great birthday, if I don't talk to you before then. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Love y'all.